Hello again, everybody. This is my first video in a while, and will probably be the last one for another little while because I'm still quite busy. It's a moderately fun chapter, pre-deployed, sort of a puzzle mission, and it's much better than Sonja's previous chapter. It's somewhat luck-based though, in terms of how the AI can make a huge difference in how the chapter plays out. I thought of a very different strategy to tackle the mission this time. I don't know whether it'll work or not. You'll be seeing an experiment in progress here, and probably hear a fair amount of thinking out loud as I try things out. Unusually dumb for Sensei here, I think. Also kind of out of character for Kanbei. Like, this is the only time that he's really so dismissive and brusque with his daughter. Usually he ignores her because he's an idiot, and he's just too busy being reckless and dumb, but here he just dismissed what she said, and called her stubborn. I think if I was Sensei, and I saw Kanbei disagree with Sonja, I would immediately take Sonja's side and assume that she must be right. The chapter name here ties into how Lash and Sonja are meant to be kind of juxtaposed in this mission. They are quite similar characters, or at least Advance Wars 1 Sonja was similar to Lash. Advance Wars 1 Sonja was a psycho who was fighting pointless battles against you for her own amusement. In any case, I've mentioned before that all the Black Hole COs seem to parallel one of the characters, and this is another case of that. I wonder if we're supposed to think that the previous conversation where Sensei and Kanbei ignored Sonja was all fake just to trick Lash, but that's probably not what the writers meant. They probably meant that they actually did insist on leaving and then Sonja came back after convincing them off screen later on. She could just pull back, I would think. And an excellent point here, because again, Sonja is she's really one of the worst COs in the game. Arguably the worst, at least against the AI. Only Max has worse indirects than Sonja. And Lash is actually a pretty strong CO. I do like the dialogue between the two of them, though. Okay, let's take a look at this map, because it is quite unique. So, 2 rows of mountains. We have indirects on both sides, but kind of a weak army at the top here. The enemy has a massive army of Neo-tanks, MB-tanks, tanks, rockets, mechs, everything pretty much down here. Very, very strong army. So we need to basically pick at them as they come slowly approaching us, and prevent any of them from getting to our HQ. I'm sure they meant for us to hunker down around the HQ with our tanks to play defense, but forget that. I'm going to drive full speed ahead, I think. I think I'm going to actually crowd most of my tanks in over on that side. Just hide this one in the woods, maybe. I've got an idea. I think the enemy will try to move toward their closest target, basically. Well, let's reveal some of those enemies. We can see just like the fringes of their formation there. They probably meant for us to put this rocket in the wood, but I have a better idea, I think. I am going to cluster all of my indirects over hereabouts. How far can that guy walk? Out to here? Yeah, okay. We'll see. Cluster all my indirects there. Walk this one out there. She has some rockets. One of the main challenges of the mission actually will be taking out her rockets efficiently. I'm gonna get this recon down where I'll help reveal them later on. The best way to take them out, really, is to have a rocket in the woods yourself so she'll blindly walk up into your range. Otherwise, you have to kind of slowly crawl a tank out down to there, and that's just awful at the end of the mission. Creep these guys toward the mountains. I think for that reason I want to put this rocket here, where I can eventually get into this forest. I have a new and creative plan for the right side to show off here, but I don't really have anything special for the left side planned. That side will probably just be conventional. A lot of the artillery are not very useful. The one up here especially, the enemies will just never come in range of it unless you engineer special uses for it. Even if you put it here, the enemy will seldom come in range at all. The APCs, of course, are just here to re-ammo our indirects. We'll probably need to do that before the end because there are just so many enemies, and Sonja is so weak. Her luck penalty is similar to having a 10% attack penalty with all units. Roughly. So, how the AI moves is always very random and hard to predict. We'll just see how it goes this time. Aha, they did stupidly walk right into artillery range. Oh good, you drove a Neo-tank into rocket range. That's great. Neo-tanks are a very big threat here. All the units that can pulverize your central tanks are a big deal ipso facto. Simply parking one of my own tanks on the HQ would stop a lot of her units indefinitely, but not an MD tank or a Neo tank. I don't like that. the way they have an infantry potentially reveal our guys. But actually, no, never mind. This infantry can't actually reveal our guys. That's good. The biggest threat she actually has, though, is her mechs. The mechs can get across the mountains and threaten your rockets, and that can just ruin you. Well... obvious moves first. Only one target this guy can shoot, might as well go for it. So having done that, I will now drive down and bam, blocked. This is now like an unbreakable kill zone, I think, for the AI. I've never tried this before, but I'm pretty sure they will never find a way around this and will just keep losing units forever and ever and ever. I can enhance things by using mechs as bait, just keep luring their guys in. I'll probably do some of that, we'll see. Okay, there's their rocket. Trying to take a shot at my APC. I'm okay with that, actually, I think. Although, it might be better yet if I just, if I let them come into rocket range and then get shot to pieces. That would be really nice if that works. These mechs, as I said, they will make good bait later on, but I think I won't use them for that just yet. Need to decide what to do with this tank. I think I'll put it there where it can help things out on the left or on the right. I want to divert as many enemies as possible over toward that side, I think. Where there's that tight canyon where I can just ruin their day. So, do I go for the anti-air or the infantry? That's kind of a choice to make. I'm not really sure. I can see an argument both ways. I'd love to put the rocket into the woods, but I think I'd just better go for the Neotank while I can, before it gets too far ahead. The Neotanks are too dangerous. Gotta take the shots you can at them. Oh, terrible luck there. Thank you, Sonja. Couldn't have failed it without you. I think that's good enough. Good enough to cripple that tank and finish it off as it drives up. Shouldn't be too difficult. Now, having weakened that guy... oh, they do have their Neotank there. I think I've got an idea. I'm going to use a mech as bait. I'll drive this along where I can back it up later on. I'll walk there, and they can drive the Neotank up and shoot me. I'll take heavy, heavy damage, but then that Neotank will be in range of a ton of indirects. Especially if I drive that one there. I might try that, and then just have this one shoot that infantry. Make it harder for her to capture cities. Maybe force her to join things or something like that. We'll see. The more cities she captures, the more likely she is to retreat units back to them and heal them up, which can waste a lot of time. I might as well re-ammo. Get started on it early in case I need to re-ammo separate things later on. So, now see how she moves. I'm hoping to try to crowd in a lot of guys at my tank on that narrow spot and just get stuck. Oh, she's being dumb and going for the capture of the guy who's critically wounded. She'll be working on that all day. The recon, can threaten to get onto your HQ fast. You need to watch out for that. But it's otherwise not very threatening. Can't do a thing to a tank if the tank just blocks it. Okay, good. So, took the bait. I'm going to take some damage here, but the Neotank can be ruined by all my indirects. Will her rocket take the bait and walk into the kill box? Ah, she's starting to go around, isn't she? We'll see how it goes. Oh, I didn't expect that. Should have. Not smart of me. Thought she'd go for the capture, but I guess not this time. Didn't move that mech, that's very strange. Well, she did, luckily, put her rocket in range of me. So I'll just take that shot. Oh, I was hoping to do less damage. She might actually repair that or something terrifying like that. Okay. Well, in that case, I think the next target I've got to go for is that mech. If I can ruin that too, that'll be something. Yeah, that's good. That'll maybe send her out of the way. Then I don't need to use these rockets as much for that job. So... can't shoot with this rocket, unfortunately. But I can fire that artillery. And I can fire that rocket. That's pretty good. I think I want the thing to just pull back, so I'm pretty happy with that, really. Let me see. What else can I shoot that's useful? I think I might be forced to go for a mech over here, so I can't walk up and destroy my mech immediately. I don't like it, but I think I need to do it. And I'm forced again to shoot at the infantry here. You must prioritize things that can go over and destroy your scouts and your rockets above all else. Maybe if I'm lucky, she'll join these in a bad position. Making her join up things can be pretty good for you, because it often basically means you can take out kind of effectively 2 guys for one shot. Not bad. Okay, so she can walk up, she can shoot me, but she can't really finish me with her 3 HP guy, so that's okay. Now, I think I want people to be baited in range, but let me think about how to do this. So if I pull this guy back, then I can't then use this other... I guess if I put it over there, I could use that mech to finish it. That would work pretty well. I will sacrifice this mech, basically, if I do that. But I think I've got enough scouting potential for that to be okay. So I'll walk over there. I will drive up and see if I can just finish this. Nope! Sonja! I wish it was possible to block... Oh. I have a funny idea. I wonder if this will work. If not, I'll probably lose the mission and be forced to restart. But if I drive this guy over there and shoot that thing, the infantry will of course just stay capturing. No. The tanks would drive around. I can't fully block them up. It's a shame. It would have been funny to choke point them here, but it's basically impossible to choke point them on this side as far as I've found. No strategy I've come up with can do it, really. Although... Okay, I'm getting an idea. Let's see, so we'll damage that one. I might actually go for the kill instead of going for forcing a join there, just because I want to get her to crowd more guys into range and not just have them going elsewhere. I've got my superpower now, and I could just use that. I could also just smuggle that tank back up. But with my superpower, basically if she attacks me, I actually hit first. Which won't make a huge difference, but can help sometimes. I'm gonna go for that, I think. I will activate my superpower. She's gonna have hers very soon. If she doesn't already. Actually, I'm pretty sure she must have hers already. Because it doesn't cost twice mine, and I've been doing most of the damage here. But anyway, she can drive up, but she can't shoot me very effectively. Because of my superpower going on here. I can even use this mech down here if I want to. If she shoots me, she'll just die. I must watch out. This thing can actually suddenly go a lot faster now, though. I can go 8 squares even over planes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it could get around here and shoot me in the back there. Although, I mean, that wouldn't be awful. If, like, a recon gets to shoot a mech, but the mech gets the first strike, that's pretty favorable for me, in fact, I think. I might allow her to do that. And if I can... Nah, that won't work. It won't work, just need to keep slowly driving over here. I don't think I want to shoot with that thing. I'm thinking about putting it here, but no. I'm going to put it there where I can shoot at more guys.
I could use this mech now. With my superpower going, if she attacks it with a tank, she'll actually get hit first and take heavy damage. But it's still not really that worth it, so I don't think I'll do that. So, Lash could discover my tank, but unless her MD tank is able to actually go up and attack it, she won't really deal that much damage to me during my superpower. Not with me having the woods at first strike. So, that should be okay. Alright, let's see what Lash has got. Her superpower is ordinarily much stronger than mine, but mine will partly counter hers by just making me get first strike, which is worth something. It's really crucial to make sure she can't put any mechs in mountains and attack you during her superpower, because she'll have 90% defense and offense, which is absolutely devastating.
So, yeah, she's going for the HQ, but as long as I can block it with a tank, that won't matter. was hoping she'd go around and try to hit my tank in the choke point from the back, but I guess she's not doing that. She's putting another rocket into the kill box. That's nice for me. But the bad thing is she's repairing her other rocket, and they can shoot my guys, and so that's awful for me. Just awful. I think I'm forced to drive that one over there, so I can just get her in range and finish her off. This guy can only shoot one guy, so he goes for it. Thank you, Sonja.
Such a frustratingly bad CO.
Well, these MD tanks are getting scary. They're getting too close. Just her regular tanks are getting scary, in fact. But if I drive this one up there to block, that'll be okay, I think. So take out that Neo tank. And running out of ammo on the mech. I might need to drive this guy over there, but I think he'll just take so much damage he'll be killed shortly anyway. I really want to compel more MD tanks to waste time, though. That is my biggest priority right now. If I can get MD tanks to just drive up there and waste time killing that mech, that's probably a win for me. I'm gonna hope for that. This rocket can shoot me next turn. We can't have that, so I pull back for now. Okay. Yeah, over here, maybe I can lure a tank into coming down and shooting me from behind, which would not be great, but it wouldn't be a disaster either. I might need to just hope for that. But first of all, we've got another rocket that we can shoot. So that's good. You know, if I don't lose to the MD tanks coming through on the other side, I will be able to win just faster because I've taken out the rockets faster than is usually possible.
The speed time limit here is 12 days, which can occasionally be difficult to achieve if the enemy happens to pull people back for repairs out of rocket range. I can avoid that with this new strategy.
What I'm wondering is... yeah, this rocket will take a shot, I think, at that APC, and that's fine by me. What I would like to do is find a way for the tank to break through and block up this... no, that won't work. That will not work. Okay.
This MD tank is quite tough this turn because it has a total of 30% defense, 10% generic from anybody using their CO power, plus Lash doubling the planes 10% to 20%. So it's like it's on a city on a normal turn.
Gotta cripple another MD tank there. Maybe I can convince her to pull one back and then try to join it with something else. Probably not though. I think because of bad luck and Sonja, I can't get it low enough to want to join. Yeah, not gonna work. Well, I can use a mech for that. That's a decent use of it. One speed. So that one is going to try to join for sure. I think I'd rather have a mech get shot at than a tank. So I'll drive this one there. Leave my tank tanking. It is tempting to just try to start breaking through there, but it's probably not worth it. Probably wiser to just keep my tank undamaged. Yeah, I think I better not do that. I think I'll just walk this mech over that way where it can help out on a future turn. And then we will see how she moves, and whether I win or lose kind of depends on how this next couple of rounds goes, I guess. Oh, she did manage to capture something. No surprise. We can just kind of sit there indefinitely. Okay, was not able to delay an MD tank as I had hoped. Was able to pull that guy into the trap, so that's good. I'll take heavy damage, but I'll live and it's in the artillery zone, and it won't be shooting at my tank, so that's very good for me. That one's also scared, of course. There's an MD tank. I'm going to take heavy damage, but I'll live. If I was any other CO, I'd have a good chance of finishing it off, but even as Sonja, you know, it's working out okay. That's a problem. That's a bigger problem. That's a bigger problem. Jeez. Okay. Now she sees my rocket and she can go for it. I haven't had that happen before. Oh good, she joined those up. That part is good for me. The other stuff that happened, not so much. Well... she pulled her mech back, which is unusual and interesting. I guess, first of all, I should just go for that rocket. She joined it up in a really dumb spot.
If this experimental strategy continues to work, I'll be able to win a good deal faster than is usually possible.
Take down that MD tank. This artillery has a use, unusual. Any other CO I would have been able to pretty easily finish that off with my mech here, but just Sonja things. Okay, so we have cleared things out on that side now. That's good. This is his last shot, so he's going to be a lot less effective after this.
I'm trying to free up one of my tanks to drive around behind her lines. I'm not sure it'll work, but it might convince some of her units to drive the wrong way and try to fight me in that direction, going back into rocket range.
These rockets have very little to do, unfortunately.
I know that Lash has one more artillery, and it should be located here in the fog, if I recall correctly.
So, I'm going to walk like that. There we go, she's revealed to me now, so that's nice. So I can start tearing up her guys from behind. The problem is just what to do with the ones that are right in front of me, really. It is tempting to shoot the artillery, but I should go for the infantry instead, I think. Okay, what do I do over here? Well, I think I must go for that. Cripple its ability to damage my rocket. Hopefully it'll run away and she'll stupidly not use it, and then forget what she's doing. It's worth a shot at least. That's good.
I'll take out the anti-airs next. They don't dare attack full HP tanks on HQs, but they can do pretty good damage as they get chipped down.
Now what do I do about all of these MD tanks? This is going to be a serious problem. Hopefully she'll join some of them if I just keep damaging them. Like, pull them back, join them up, and keep them in rocket range. There's a good chance of that working. This one's probably going to want to join. Probably. Attack the most advanced one and the one on the road also, of course that helps. So... nothing that this guy can do particularly. If I put the artillery in the wood here, I might get a useful target. We'll see. I'm running low on scouts up here. I might need to pull that guy back for a turn, although it does mean there'll be less bait. But I think it's going to be necessary. Does she have her superpower? Close, but not quite. That's good for me, actually. Okay, you know what? I think I actually want to give her something to shoot at over here. So I will, in fact, walk this guy over there, and maybe I can convince her to drive over there and shoot at that thing. And I'll lose the mech, but if I can pull more guys into range of my rockets, that's great. These last few MD tanks are the last serious threat. Then my tanks can just run riot across everything she's got. And I'll win in maybe record time. We'll see. Alright, fingers crossed. She was smart, but it's not the strongest unit she's got. I can deal with that. My rocket will stay pretty functional. Okay, again, I ended up getting a tank instead of an MD tank. It's not as good, but I mean, that tank is still a serious threat. So, you notice the animation doesn't display it, but I attacked first. So even though I got killed, I did some damage.
I really think they should have gotten the animations right for that, because it is not at all clear what is happening. The description just says that counterattacks is stronger. It doesn't say anything about you getting the first strike. So that is pretty misleading.
Interesting that she's dropping mechs like that. I've never seen that before. Well, I think I'm going to need to shoot that thing down. I've got to kill it. And then I can use the tank. Oh, let's see. No, then she can drive up and shoot me. What do I do in that case? Otherwise she can drive up the... Yeah. Damned if you do, damned if you don't in this case. I think I'm going to be forced to keep using mechs down here as bait and see if I can just pull MD tanks into the trap like that. Only be able to hit me with one MD tank wouldn't be a catastrophe if I can finish it off with a whole bunch of other things. I'm going to have to go for that. Kind of adapting here.
I might be able to take out an infantry if I march this mech along here. I would really like to be able to get my tank in there and just mop them up.
More useful like that, I think. Nothing much for this rocket to do, unfortunately. Maybe this mech down here can serve as bait, too. It's worth a shot. Yeah, you never know. Maybe that'll convince her to drive an MD tank down there. She will get her superpower this turn. I must remember that. Probably not going to make a big difference, but it could be a bad surprise for me. So if I walk this guy up, then he will be able to cover that tank, which is going to be very, very necessary, I think. I can shoot this MD tank. That'll help. And I can shoot this one too. If I'm lucky... Nah, it's probably not going to work. No, not going to work. Okay, it stays operational. The odds of her destroying this tank are kind of high with that mech. Unless the mech just goes for a capture. But still, it's effective bait. I want that. And I'm willing to risk another one getting killed just to avoid total destruction here. Oh, I forgot she had a guy there. Hopefully that won't cause too many problems here. Block it there so it can't do anything really nasty to me. And sadly, this one just can't do a whole lot right now, can it? Nope. I guess I can drive over here and... I don't know, it's worth hoping. Okay, let's see what Lash does. Oh, she was able to kill it. So there it goes. That's not great for me. This is good for me. I'm going to lose the mech, so that's bad, but... fantastic that I was able to convince those tanks to drive around that way. So I did a good job, I think, of adapting to a near disaster here, pretty much. Taking more casualties than I usually do, but I turned a bad situation around just because of like, the way luck was. Okay, well you, sir, can get back on that mountain. And then we'll just start blasting away. And we've got tons of guys here. She fell right into that trap, so... have some damage. Dreaded superpower would delay me another turn with that tank.
Overall, this strategy turned out to be a little bit less effective than I was hoping for, but it is still faster than most approaches.
But that's okay, guys. We know there's an MD tank in that, area, but I can't really reveal it, can I? I can, however, slow down that capture a little bit at least. That's worth something. That'll keep her there, keep her capturing, keep her getting shot at. I guess I could with my CO power reveal her if I could just get that, which I can probably do. Thank you, Sonja. Okay, that one's down. So, MD tank over there. You don't want to tangle with that mech while it's on that city. If I advance this guy and use a tank like this as bait, that will almost certainly lure the MD tank out into the open. Probably over here, but you never know. And then I can shoot at it with that rocket. I think I'll do things like that. I'm going to weaken that APC if I can. Is that mech coming or going? I'm just going to shoot it, just in case. Yeah, she's too strong to approach, sadly. Well, this guy can't really do much, so I think I'm going to be forced to leave it there. And then my turn. So she's almost got that city. Good, the bait worked. Not quite the bait I was hoping would work, but it still worked.
That's nice. I was able to lure another target in range of that rocket, which would otherwise have been useless. So, good tactical success there. One of the trickiest things about this mission is keeping more of your rockets in play by luring a lot of her people into their range.
Sonja, you're so bad. Still doing okay. On that score, that is. Time to drive in my tanks and just start mopping things up. Even that APC could technically capture my HQ, so I must not allow that. The infantry should be pretty easy to catch up to once this thing is down. I think I'm not going to use the artillery for this reason. What I'm going to do instead is pull the artillery out of the way, allowing the rocket to advance one step further, and maybe that'll be more useful. It's possible anyway. Let me get down there to re-ammo them later. How can I bait this guy over? She's already used her superpower, she doesn't have that again. I could risk losing one more if I wanted to. You know, I am going to just drive up and just start shooting at this one. I can finish it, even if it takes some damage from the artillery next time, I'll still be able to finish it. So that part will be okay. But I could, if I want to, put this guy over there, and then that will bait the infantry over. So I'm going to do that. I can sacrifice a guy. This is a very Sonja-like way to play, of course. Treating units as pieces and whatnot. Very Lash-like, too. So, this should be the final turn. What turn is it?
Yeah, I think this is the fastest I've won this mission. Giving lots of extra bait and bottlenecking the enemy on the right side has really helped a lot. Plenty of room for refinement, of course. I think one improvement I could have made would be to put the blocker on the kill box a little bit further north, so that more of Lash's troops could crowd into it before I started shooting them all. Regardless, more interesting than the usual approach of just hoping she walks in range along each side. My way here is certainly harder than that way, but it is faster and more interesting, I think.
So, down goes the artillery. And that should be her last unit. Nice.
As I mentioned, Sonja was completely like this in the previous game. Her character has changed dramatically in this one. Thankfully, I hated her in the previous game. I mean, I still don't like her in this one, but now I just don't like her mechanically, whereas in that game I didn't like her as a character either. If this is meant some kind of criticism of the player, too, who's enjoying this little war game, I feel like it kind of falls flat. Like most cases of games criticizing their players. Maybe it wasn't meant that way, but if it was, that's certainly silly for the game designers to write it like that. Well, the trade-off for the new strategy seems to be taking more casualties but winning a lot faster than usual. Still 300 point S rank either way. Glad I tried something new. Oh, here's Sonja, back to treating war like a game again. Already lesson unlearned. I have no idea what Sonja's talking about, by the way. Until this game she had an unbroken losing streak. She just failed at everything. Okay. It will probably be a while before I have time to make another video, but I'm really looking forward to the next one. It's another factory mission, and it's one of the best missions in the entire game, and I think one of the most iconic ones, too. So, I look forward to when I have time to make it. Until then, have a great day, everybody.